Okay, so for the okay, so for the third week in a row, I got knocked out of top four. That's the way, bro. There were 6 rounds of Swiss, and then top 8. I went 5-1 in Swiss. Top 8 was against Purely. It was unfair. Like it was just, oh my god, Encore, Storm, and Combo was just down as well. In top 4, I go up against PK Adventure Horus. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. 3 Fire, 3 Gazelle, 3 Foxy, 3 Spinny, and 1 of each utility card. I still like Falco a lot. Jaguar, Falco, Weasel. I'm still liking 3 Foxy, seeing as the deck is at 50. A lot of you like kind of questioning why 50. So basically what this means is when you increase the card count to 50, right, it allows you to not really utilize your side deck as much, right? Because the format is so diverse that you kind of want to be equipped for any given situation, and you rely on veterans for that to be the case. So for example, let's say Nib is not great versus all matchups, right? Sometimes Droll is kind of underwhelming. But the fact that when you match them perfectly, and that's the variance I was referring to, is where it's implemented, right? That's where it's applicable. Because it's a hit or miss whether you use this versus the right matchup or whether you use this for the right matchup. But the fact that it's in there, it gives you the chance to have that as a possibility, right? And in order to do that, you have to hire the card count. And in doing so, you have to increase the core engine, right? Worst case scenario is you open up a bunch of your non-engine to simplify the game state to then later on get access to your engine. Just for the variance of it, you know? But yeah, I was unlocking so much with this guy. This guy was insane. That's like the only unfair thing that this deck does. Everything else is fair. It's very mid-range, interactive. Something that you would notice if you played the deck or you pick up the deck is that this guy is essentially this guy, because this allows you to do the raging. Because if you open up Gazelle, you can't do the raging play with that because you don't have the sufficient amount of bodies to get to the Link 4. So like in theory, if you do this reveal, whether it be this or this, well, not really this, because this equates to just open up Gazelle. But if you get access to Circle or Gazelle, this will basically be this, essentially. Foxy always hit most of the time. I always gave me the will I was missing, the Circle, the trap that I needed to get. And then of course non-engine, triple Nib, triple Ash, triple Droll, triple Veiler, triple Imperm. It's just the most generic way to view the format at the moment. All these can be applicable for a very particular matchup, and some might not be so, but that's the whole point, right? That's the whole strategy of it. The fact that you can, because it's gonna be like hit or miss sometimes, where you have the right interaction for the right matchup, and that's okay. That's variance, you know. I've always mentioned this about this particular card. It's just good. Like since last month, like it's just insane. It's like people are saying that it's not that great, but it's just, if you view this as like an Ash Blossom, in a sense of, okay, you at least stop one search, right? That's best case scenario. No, that's worst case scenario. Well, no, worst case scenario is that it does nothing for you. That's worst case scenario. But like let's say they search once and you can stop one search. That's still an interaction, right? And if you stop that one extra search and you pair it with one of these cards, it makes this card even more impactful. And best case scenario, you stop so many searches. That's like the best case scenario, right? Because you want to make sure that the game is simplified to where your mid-range strategy can keep up, you know? And that's why cards like this are in here, to allow that to happen. And then consistency, you have Silent Mining, and of course you have Circle. This one's a bit hit or miss, but the main reason you play is because you have so much non-engine, so you need to boost consistency because of the type of theory the deck is trying to use. And it was fine. Like, it's fine. It just gets rid of like redundant hand traps that are not serving a purpose for a particular matchup. And it's just Ash bait. Like that's kind of where this deck kind of like thrives, is them interacting at the wrong time. They'll ash the wrong thing, you know, although negate the wrong thing. Like, 'cause it seems like good to ash this, but you have so much access to like your fire Gazelle, so it doesn't really matter. It just becomes an extender when you discard a solid. Because sometimes it's kind of hard to trigger Gazelle because like SP's in a format and it's quite annoying. So like they'll spot move on it so you can't trigger Gazelle. So then this serves as an extender in a way. Triple Will, I'm still a big fan of this. It's just so good. It's kind of like Crimson Gaia, as I mentioned in the previous video, where it's just a constant body turn after turn if they don't get rid of it. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of what this deck does. It's like, it's not meant to end the game outright. It's just meant to simplify it so you can capitalize the following turn, right? That's basically what it's meant to be doing through attrition. You just go, okay, you clear my board, I interact with you, I Veilered, Ash, Impermed you, I destroyed your cards, okay, this is still on field. You managed to clear my body, okay, it's fine. I have most likely a fire and a Gazelle in hand still. My graveyard is loaded. I just do it again next turn. Whether you top deck this or it's on the field, it's amazing. But sometimes you do have this situation where you have these two. You have these two and you're like, oh, what do I summon? And if you want to do like some pretty cool lines, you can like summon this effect, excavate, hopefully hit a solid card. And then effect, special this, you know what I mean? And then like just try to do like some just to throw them off. It's just pretty cool. And then you're like bricks, sanctuary, charge. This card's amazing. This card is insane. Like it just helped me play around Nib so many times. Like it just it's just so good. It's so good, bro. Like top decking it, because sometimes they banish your Raging with Crow and or your Jaguar, or like they just banish your stuff. And this helps with that. This puts them back. It's just so good, or it summons it. It's really nice. And then one of his traps, pretty self-explanatory. There was a game versus Scareclaw where he banished this. I was like, fudge, that's so bad. So I was like, okay, well, how do I do this then? So the way to do that was I was trying to find a way to get to this to get access to my Raging back from the banish zone. Because you banned my Raging and this, and I was like, oh crap. So I needed to get to this. I needed to make a Reeling Wolf, add this back to get back my Raging, so at least get that in rotation. But he ended up crowing this as well. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? That's so bad. It's so annoying. And then you have Cross. I still like this. I'm still a big fan of this. Because, like, you have the one card combo that just works so well. Like, even opening up these two is amazing. Like, this is just so good. And then you have the Goes and Lock. Main decking this. Going second is amazing. Because you simplify the game state to a point where you're allowed to survive off this guy. It's just insane. You just simplify it so their board is not as formidable, and then this keeps the tempo control on your terms, right? So you just flip it. Then you have side deck, Dark Wheeler, Eclipse, Encore for Purely. Thank you, Yoshi. Storm, Duster, and Evenly. Very generic. Once again, this can change, but I really like this for Purely because the deck can't out Purely. It literally can't. Like you just lose. Like they don't have to do anything to you. All I gotta do is wait for you to get to your link, and you just straight up lose. Like, what do you do? You can't really do much. So you have to ensure that you have an out for it. And I like these the most. And then you have the extra deck. You have Stelio, Splash Mage, Heat Soul. This is the only non-solid card you play because they come up so often for me. Like sometimes you open them kind of weird. Like I don't know. Like I open up Jaguar and Falco as, oh my god, what the hell? Like they're at 1. Like, what the fuck? I keep drawing in a 50 card deck. It's kind of unfortunate, but there's times where your fire gets negated and you have access to Spinny as well. And you can't just pass on Baylink, so might as well climb into a Heat Soul and try to dig for more hand traps, or try to dig for like a Gazelle or a Wills, to help you extend. But for the most part, just when your fire gets negated and you don't have access to Gazelle or any way to extend past that, or get access to a Stelio. And this comes up quite often, and dude, it saved me so many times. It drew me hand traps when I needed them. And this is not going to change anytime soon. I really like this because the justification of not playing correctly, so you should play less copies, is, I don't understand it. Because, like, dude, not everything goes according to plan all the time. And the third one always comes up. Triple Wolf, Double Heat Leo. Last week, I was thinking of cutting this to 1. But this guy actually outperformed this time. It was pretty good. Whether I change it, I'm not too sure, but it did really well this weekend. So I might just end up keeping it like this. And then, of course, MVP. Pyro Phoenix, amazing, bro. This card's insane. Going second, nukes the board. It's basically to facilitate Salamangreat fire, because you're fire locked. And, of course, Raging. This card's insane. Yeah, last week I was thinking of cutting this for a third copy of this, because this guy got crowed. So I was like, oh, I don't have a third copy, bro. So maybe I'll cut it, but like, I don't know. It's up in the air still. I'm not too sure. But I liked it so far. But yeah, this is basically just to help facilitate the lock. You can't really go for access code. And you're relying on your one card combo, which is fire. So you want to be as interactive as possible, while being able to crack boards going second without access code. And that's why we're playing this. Dude, there's a board against Runic Sprite. He had like everything. And I just Dark Ruler him and I nuke his entire board. I was like, oh my god, bro, that was insane. It's so crazy. Like this card's just insane. It's crazy. Yeah, that's basically the list. Go ahead and try it out. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.